Everybody, it's Daryl from the Longboard Hive, as well as How We Roll, Winnipeg's longboarding community. Today we're going to do another episode of the Longboard Hive. And so, if you haven't been following along, the Longboard Hive is a decentralized social media platform which is owned by its community, makes it very unique and not controlled and censored by, well, Google, Facebook, and everything that's going on these days. Anywho, on to the news. Today on the, well, not today, but recently on the Longboard Hive, we've gotten a new member. There's a couple new members. One's a trader, one's actually a longboarder, so kind of focusing on him. If you check out the account Samurai McKinnon, so far he hasn't done anything on it. He just joined, but he assures me that he's going to be posting soon and updating his profile soon. He's just a very busy guy as he runs a runs a trading community on Discord. He's definitely trading full-time and runs all kinds of things and is a very busy person. Plus, it sounds like he's going through university or self-teaching himself courses. So he's a really busy fellow, but he makes amazing content. In fact, you'll probably recognize him as the guy that is the host of the Inside Line. So if you haven't heard about the Inside Line, I suggest going back a few posts and checking out his amazing YouTube channel. It's very popular along the longboarding community, and he was giving away, or is still planning to, it turns out it's winter and most people can't longboard, but he was giving away $100 to anyone that could like make the longest slide attempt and send him videos. And he also does, news about what's going on in the longboard world, sharing great videos, good gear, all kinds of things. So basically, he's well respected and loved among the longboard community. And he's also trading crypto and stocks and getting people into kind of thinking about their financial freedom and setting themselves up for the future. So he's really probably the perfect person to join the Longboard Hive and check it out. So hopefully when he does give his first post, you guys give him a great welcome. I'll make sure I share him on my page. And also, once he does do the contest, we're going to be giving away a bunch of Hive to that prize pool to make sure that they're aware that the Longboard Hive is awesome, that it works, and that crypto is, well, crypto. It's awesome. We all love crypto. That's why we're here, right? Anyways, on to other news. I am deciding to sponsor a longboard race in the Philippines. You've probably seen that in my post, but this is the first time I'm saying it in video, so this is for my YouTube audience and everybody else who sees this elsewhere. I am sponsoring a race in the Philippines. So how this all came about is, well, I'm sort of familiar with Pap Dog. He's an awesome luge rider. He also longboards, does amazing film work with GoPro. He's sponsored by them. He's just generally an all-around awesome dude, well-known and respected amongst the community. So he wanted to help someone in the Philippines, I believe, and I really apologize, dude, for mispronouncing your name, and because I'm assuming I'm mispronouncing it, but Sigmat Wamp, also known as Mirror Donkey, spelled a little bit differently if you find it on Facebook and whatnot. So Pap gave this guy a bunch of camera gear and some wheels and stuff to try to get him creating content and just kind of boost the community going on, as well as to help him sponsor and kind of support a longboard race that he wants to put on for his birthday in April. So I saw a post about this and immediately thought, well, how can I help? How can I use this, somewhat selfishly, admittedly, to demonstrate how the Longboard Hive works and that it does work? So I figured, you know what? Time to stop waiting for some big company come and discover Hive and see my vision and put tons of money into an account so that they can give out like massive amounts of crypto for every like they give. Unfortunately, that so far hasn't happened, and I've been talking about this for a long time. So it's time to put my money where my mouth is. So I reached out to him and said, dude, I'd like to sponsor your event. He's just waiting right now to get the go-ahead from the mayor of his town or city, and then we're going to just move ahead and trying to sponsor this event. So generally what I'm going to do is donate any posts about this. This is probably going to go, good portion of this profit will probably go to that prize pool as well. Maybe some to McKinnon's prize pool. I don't know if I'll keep any for myself, but it's all about spreading the stoke, so I don't really care about the money. I've got plenty of Hive, and I'm pretty happy with it. So basically, we're going to give away more money to this guy. He is also joined. You can find his account, Mayor Donkey. I'll put it below, and I'll also put it on my Hive post. And he's going to start posting soon too. I'm just kind of teaching him how to do it. And of course, he unfortunately posts his videos on Facebook. So we've got to get him onto YouTube or one of the alternatives that allows him to post nice little videos in the Hive posts. But I'm going to teach him how to do that, and in return for me sponsoring his event and just giving him a bunch of money, he's going to join and he's going to teach other people how to use this platform. Because if he sees that all of a sudden he's getting all this money just from you guys giving likes, that means he can actually start making partial living or maybe even entire living. I'm not too sure how well the money exchanges over into the Filipino peso, but I feel like this could really help people like this in a poorer community that don't really have much opportunity to simply just start making a few cents, making a few dollars off their posts. It'll put food on their table, help them buy skate gear, help them keep safety equipment, buy helmets and all these things. And we see so much of that. And we see the Colombian riders, none of them wear helmets. We're not supposed to shame them because of course they can't afford it. And it's tough love. You can't just shame them if they literally can't get helmets. So this could be part of a project where we get all these people on board, get them earning from making content. We give them a bunch of likes and tips, and then we help them buy helmets and send them helmets, and all this Hive and everything can help us fund those things. So this is taking the crypto world, the social media world, and starting to apply it to the real world. And I think that's really where we're going to see what the Longboard Hive can do, what the Hive platform can do, and hopefully that'll mean everybody else is going to start realizing that, it's not, you can't just wait for the next best good thing to come along. Sometimes you got to seek it out. And I'm the one that's been telling you all about it. Hopefully you realize I'm legit and I'm not some guy just trying to sell you a pyramid scheme, multi-level marketing thing, because I make no referral bonuses. I make no money off of you guys joining other than the fact that more people are joining and then the platform's doing better in the sense that it's gaining popularity. So it's kind of a free market benefits, but no referral codes, no pyramid scheme, all that garbage. Sorry, I keep bringing that up for those of you who already believe me, but honestly, it's kind of tough when you're trying to tell people how to, like I'm doing it myself. I've been on Hive since it was Steemit in 2017. I rode through the whole bear market, kept making content, and here I am. So it's like, I just want to tell you this stuff is legit. I've almost come to the point where I stop telling people it makes the money because that is immediately what raises the red flags for most people. So I just tell people, yeah, it's completely decentralized. It's owned by its community. There's no Mark Zuckerberg, no corporation that owns any of this. It is true decentralization and social media, as well as all kinds of other things built on top of it. Not to mention we could make our own skate token, a downhill token, and try to turn that into something. Like it's, we have opportunities. So hopefully people will start realizing what we have here, what I've been saying is true, and it's amazing, and then people will start joining on board. But that's all the more reason you should give a fat welcome to Samurai McKinnon, as well as, I believe it was Posben, something like that. He made a little post predicting the Hive price, saying there was going to be a correction. You know, he did it on Leo Finance, who I fully support because there's some awesome guys. Great project built on Hive, and you know, he's also joining. So let's give these guys a good welcome. Hopefully they'll keep posting. We'll start seeing some onboarding, like I've been saying for so long. And I think I've rambled about that subject enough. So let's see, what other subjects shall I bring up right now? Well, Hive price went up like crazy. It's definitely correcting at the moment, but the whole market is seeing some red right now, so that's kind of to be expected. Things go up and down. There's massive corrections in the crypto world, which is why I probably should have said at the beginning of this video that this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion. Do your own research, but in my opinion, I think Hive is just barely starting to see the attention from the bull market. And because it is actually decentralized, you don't have these giant whales, people that hold extremely large amounts, that are going to dump on the market and stuff like that. No one holds more than 3% of Hive. Some stats guy keeps putting out stats. I believe that's the guy that I got that information from. I didn't research that myself, so you can double check me on that. But you know, the largest amount of Hive is in the decentralized fund, and you can make proposals for it, but it's not used for voting because Hive is decentralized. So what I think is going to happen is we're getting a little spike where people are like, oh yeah, this one's completely undervalued, went way too high, too much hype, it's correcting, but we're going to get the, I think it's the cup and handle, where now it's going to go down and then go up again because now it's going to consolidate, and I'm going to definitely buy more. And my hope is that we see in the next little while go back to up to close to $1 like it did previously in March 2020. But if you go and look back at the Steemit chart, or Steam chart, when it was going through the bull run in 2017, it went up to over $8.50 at the very peak, like just for a second. So, you know, if you're sitting there waiting to sell, then maybe you got that. But let's just say for sake of argument, you sell $5, $6, and you're pretty happy with that. Well, we're currently at what, 25 to 30 cents? Like I'm not going to do the math on that because I don't have a calculator here, but that's a very high upside potential on the price of Hive versus the downside where the low has been like 10 cents. You know, like sure, maybe your money could go down 3 times. That would absolutely suck. But it's tested that bottom pretty well, and I don't think it's going back down there anytime soon. Even with the inflation that Hive does have, because it continues to create tokens, and it doesn't have a set cap. But at the same time, there is token burnings, there is sinks and staking that ties up a lot of this Hive, and then causes it not to be as, you know, open and liquid on the market, so that stabilizes the price a fair bit. And I can promise you, pretty much anyone who's been through the 2017 bull market and bear market isn't just going to be selling at $1. They're waiting for like $10 plus per token. So it's going to be a nice ride up if you are into trading. Highly suggest you buy some Hive, power up the coin, and join me. But in the meantime, I'm just going to enjoy the gains, baby. All right, so some other news in the longboard world is there is possibly going to be a change up in the organization of the longboard races. Not too sure I fully understand the details because I am not a racer. I just thought it was some interesting news, and hopefully we'll see a growth in the longboard racing community and sport, and hopefully some acceptance in the mainstream, as much as I don't like the mainstream, which would mean more money for the sport, more money for all the athletes, and hopefully in general just make more people enjoy the sport of longboarding. So initially, I believe it was the International Gravity Sports Association. They kind of went the way of the wind, and then the IDF took over, International Downhill Federation. And there's definitely been some arguments and stuff about how they're run, how well they're using their budgets, which comes entirely from the racers' donations, I believe. So there's been, a lot of people upset about these things. And then more recently, there's been a new initiative called the Global Gravity Association. And they're going to try to hopefully do it differently. Apparently they are focused on compensating and using local longboard photographers and videographers who are already putting their heart and souls into the community without getting much return. So they want to make sure those people are rewarded, which then in turn creates great content for the sport. And on top of that, I hear they also have a deal with some kind of media organization, or there was one that was unrealized by the IDF, and that will hopefully bring some much wider acceptance of the sport and maybe get everybody on TV. But if that doesn't happen, hopefully people will start to realize with all the giveaways and the sponsoring of a race that I'm doing, that the Longboard Hive actually is probably a better place to host something like the Global Gravity Association or the IDF, because you can create your own community here and stake rewards and give that to riders and people who are participating in debates and communications and stuff like that. But you can also build things on top of it. So they could literally create their own currency, their own token, which would then help them fund the association and give out prizes to people and kind of change the sport. Like that's kind of a far out there idea. I don't know how practical that really is. There was a skate token that was created by some of the old Steam Skate people on Steam, or Steemit, but it unfortunately didn't get moved over to the Hive, so it's been abandoned there. But if we can recreate that on the Hive, there's a potential that could also really change things in how we do things in the skate community, or just make a new incentive on how to play a game of skate online with your buddies. But either way, my offer's out there to help sponsor these organizations, help them learn how to use the Hive and use that to grow the community, sponsor their own events, and make themselves more financially independent, because that's what the Hive is all about, as well as community. Number one, community. Financial support, all part of it. Number two, icing on cake. Anywho, I think as for that, I think that's going to be the end of the episode today. Make sure you check out the Longboard Hive on hive.io. It's also on peaked.com. Peaked.com is a little bit easier to use, shows you more information. It also has a much smoother sign-up process, but we're always constantly working to improve the Hive for all of you guys to make it more user-friendly. As well as check out Leo Finance, a community built on Hive, as well as its own front end, which is, and their own cryptocurrency as well. You can stake that and earn compounding interest. So honestly, it's quite the amazing platform. So I hope you guys all check that out. Also check out Scam Skate, local skaters, as well as company, as in skater-owned company locally here. Started in a garage, worked their way up to having some stores. They do screen printing and a bunch of other things. So you want some beautifully made wood, skateboard, longboard, laser engraved, beautifully local artists, graphics painted on there, beautifully attached to the wood, all well done, as well as beautiful shirts. Not this shirt in particular, but they do screen printing of all kinds. Hit them up. These guys do amazing work. They're genuinely awesome people, and they make good gear. So can't really not support something like that unless you're on the other side of the world, in which case support someone local and don't order things off Amazon. Anyways, that's it for me today. You guys have a good one. I'll see you next time on another episode of the Longboard Hive. Peace.